All right, guys. Hello again. I miss you all very much. By the way, you may have noticed production value has leveled up over here. I want to give a shout out to Cam, our great videographer here in Italy, who said to me, "Hey, your phone selfies, they're a little comme ci comme ça. Let's level things up." So we had a little bit of a break in the action here. Wanted to weigh in on a few things that happened this past weekend. PFL, BKFC, UFC. To me, the biggest story of them all, Andrei Arlovski. Holy smokes. I mean, what a story, this guy. I thought in 2011, when he was on like a 4-fight losing streak, I thought he was done then. And then he had another 4-5 losing streak, like 4 to 5 fight losing streak. And then at the end of his UFC run, he had another 4-fight losing streak. Like, this guy has had multiple 4 to 5 fight losing streaks. And here he is, mid-40s, winning the BKFC heavyweight title against Ben Rothwell. Didn't see this coming, honestly. Also, multiple-time cancer survivor. It gives me great pride and joy seeing him do this at this stage of his career, trying out a little bit of everything, misfits, dirty boxing, BKFC, refusing to give up, refusing to quit, refusing to succumb to the losing streaks, reinventing himself. I mean, I can't stress this enough. 15 years ago, people were calling for him to retire during that losing streak in Strikeforce. 15 years ago, early 2011. And here we are in 2026, and the guy just won the BKFC heavyweight title. And I know BKFC is where people go to die. I know it's the place where, you go at the end of your career to try to do some big things. But, like, come on, man. That's an unbelievable win over the reigning defending champion going into that fight. Also, by the way, shout out to BKFC. 18,000 plus people at the arena over there in Philly. To me, it's always going to be Wells Fargo. I know they changed the name, Xfinity Wireless or something like that. So very, very impressive stuff. That was by far the biggest story of the day. Second biggest story of the day, in my opinion, Usman Nurmagomedov in Dubai, submitting Alfie Davis in the third round. Valiant effort by Alfie, but I think we all knew there are levels to this. And Usman is just, pound for pound #1 in PFL, one of the best lightweights in the world. I do wonder how he would do in the UFC. I think he would do much better than Patchy Mix. Is he the best of the best at 155 in the UFC? Maybe top 5. If you're wondering about his future, he has one fight left, I'm told. He has one fight left, or end of 26. Meaning, if he doesn't get that one fight in by the end of 2026, he's a free agent. And it doesn't matter, I'm told, if he's champion or not. There's no championship clause or anything like that. I would imagine they're going to want to try to re-sign him, but as we've talked about, now that Islam has moved up to 170, you would think, all right, the coast is clear at 155. Does he want to follow in the footsteps of his mentors and family members, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Islam Makhachev? There's no one there at 155 for him to compete with. It would make sense, but he is, in many respects, one of the faces, I would say top 2 or 3 faces of PFL. He should probably want to stick around, because they're probably going to pay a hell of a lot of money for him to stick around, just like they did with Dakota Ditcheva. But perhaps he feels like he's been there, done that, and he's going to move on. So that's going to be one of the big stories to watch as we try to decipher what is the future of the PFL with this rights deal coming up at the end of 2026. Ramazan retiring, I don't think they thought that was going to happen. I don't think they would have put him in a vacant welterweight title fight if they knew he was going to just vacate the title and retire. I have a feeling the brass is going to try to convince him to stick around for at least one more fight, but that's not the best look. That's not the best look to retire when you just won the vacant title. All in all, though, PFL continues to look great anytime they're outside of the United States. Their next one coming up is going to be in Madrid, and then, of course, they've got Pittsburgh. So I'm curious to see how the juxtaposition looks from the overseas events to the American events. Thus far, they seem to be very much an overseas entity and a thriving overseas entity. So let's see how the Madrid debut looks. And then, of course, finally, you've got Mario Bautista just absolutely dismantling Loke Dog. Loke Dog revealing afterwards that he was hurt going into the fight. Not quite a TJ Dillashaw situation. The stakes weren't as high, but a valiant effort, I guess, fighting with the broken arm. Bautista just dismantled him. And I don't know if it's that dominant if Loke Dog isn't injured. Nevertheless, Bautista is who he thought he was. He gets the win, he moves on, and he calls out Corey Sandhagen, who I was told was in line to fight Ayman Zahabi, but now that fight appears to be off because Zahabi won't be ready, dealing with some stuff. So maybe they look at that because that fight was so easy for Mario. He's still one of the best 135ers in the world. There's no doubt about that. So I'm very curious to see who they match him up with. Great win for him. The Apex continues to be very depressing, very sterile, very soulless. You got Kyoji Horiguchi on there. cutting a great promo and no one reacts. It's a crime that one of the best flyweights in the world is fighting at the Apex. I hope his next fight is in Japan or anywhere with fans. Great win from him, you know, another great performance. I hope that he gets to fight for the belt by the end of the year. Let's see how it all shakes out at 125. But yeah, the Apex is awful. I can't believe that they still do this. It remains a problem. They're expanding it great. 1,000 people will be fine. It will look like the Hard Rock or the Palms, but still, a guy like Kyoji, a guy like Mario should not be fighting at the Apex. As you know, the next event is in 2 weeks in Houston, so that won't be an issue. Okay, those are my running thoughts off the top of my dome. Look at this. Look at this scenery. Look how lucky we are. This is amazing. I do miss you all. I appreciate you holding down the fort. Frank, I'm working on getting you that drink. I heard you had a little bit of a spillage situation, so I'm working on that for you, my friend. Potential sponsorship, stay tuned. We're working here, guys. We're doing stuff. We're making things happen. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. Hope you're enjoying the Olympic Games. I'm enjoying what you're doing. I miss you all, but for now I say ciao ragazzo, buongiorno, buonanotte, buonasera, all those things and more. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.